What's up everyone, Jun with the Sushi Man, and in this video, I'll teach you how to make a spicy tuna roll. And I'll show you two different ways to make it, one using a solid piece of tuna, and the second with the tuna ground up. Both are equally good in my opinion, but try them out and see for yourself. Alright, now let's jump right in. First, let's go over our ingredients. The most important is the sushi rice, and we'll only need about 1.5 cups of this to make our two rolls. You can check out my sushi rice video if you want step-by-step instructions on how to make this. Next, we have a couple sheets of nori, which is dried seaweed, and these are half sheets. Then we have our tuna, and this is about 3/4 pound of yellowfin tuna that's been cut into a saku block, which is basically a block of fish that's proportionally cut for sushi and sashimi preparation. And we're only going to be using about 1/4 of this. Okay, we also have some English cucumber, about a 4-inch piece, and then some green onion that we'll be dicing up, and we'll only be using about 1/3 of this. Now this one is my spicy powder blend that I have in this cute little hyotan container. It's a combination of Korean gochugaru, which is red chili pepper flakes, some cayenne pepper powder, and chili powder. And it's a 4:1:1 ratio. Now you can also use Japanese togarashi powder if you like. The spicy flavor is a bit different, but it's a great option as well. Alright, next we have our spicy mayo, and I highly recommend following my recipe for this, which you can learn with this video right over here. And we'll only need about 1 teaspoon. Then we have our unagi sauce, and we'll only need a little bit of this to help add more depth and savoriness to the spicy tuna mix. Not detrimental if you don't have it, but highly recommended. You can follow my teriyaki and unagi sauce video to learn how. Okay, and we also have some toasted sesame seeds, and then some wasabi, ginger, and soy sauce. And that's about it. Now let's get into our prep. First, let's cut our cucumber. And I like to peel this katsuramuki style and then cut it into thin strands. And if you want to learn how to do this, check out this video right over here. I also show you other simpler ways to cut cucumber in that video as well. Okay, now let's cut our green onion. And all we're doing here is chopping it crosswise into thin slices. And since we only need about 1/3 of this, I'm going to start from the green side, but of course you can use either side, just depends on preference. Alright, now let's cut our tuna. So in our first roll, we're going to keep the tuna solid without chopping it up. So for this, we'll just cut this the long way at about 3/4 inch thickness. So right about here. Now we'll just cut this piece in half lengthwise again. And then we have our perfectly sized piece for our roll. Okay, now we're going to take this other piece and chop it up for our second roll. And basically you want to ground it all up, but how chunky you want to leave it is up to you. Okay, that looks good about there. Now we'll just transfer this into our bowl and then add in our other ingredients. So spicy mayo, about 1 teaspoon. A little bit of the spicy powder. And of course, you can adjust the spiciness to your liking. The more you add, the spicier it's going to get and vice versa. And then a tiny drizzle of the unagi sauce. Now, if you don't have unagi sauce, then you can just add in a little bit of soy sauce here as well. Now we'll give this a nice little mix. And then lastly, let's add in the green onion. And then we're going to give it a good mix again. And there we go. That's it for our prep. Now we can start rolling. But first, I hope you don't mind a quick shameless plug. I mean, if you're enjoying this video so far, then I'm sure you'll find it beneficial. Talking about my book, it's called How to Make Sushi at Home, a fundamental guide for beginners and beyond. Making sushi is probably intimidating for most people, even experienced chefs. But this book breaks it down into easy step-by-step guides that'll take you from total sushi novice to professional sushi chef level. And I mean everything, not just recipes like this video, but how to properly source fish, cutting sashimi, making nigiri sushi, chirashi, tempura. I even have a whole section about Japanese sake and how to pair it with sushi. So if you've always wanted to make sushi at home or you're a sushi chef in training, this book will be your best friend. Links are in the description below for those that are interested. Alright, now let's get back into the video. Okay, so first let's make sure we have everything in place. We have the sushi rice, bowl of cold water or tezu, nori, our filling ingredients, cutting board, makisu, and a clean towel. Now, both of these rolls are going to be made as an uramaki or inside-out roll, so we're going to need our makisu wrapped in plastic. And if you don't know how to do this, you can watch my original how to roll sushi video with the link right over here. Okay, so roll number 1 is going to be with a solid piece of tuna. So first, make sure you have your makisu so that the sticks run horizontally. And if yours has a greenish side to it like mine, leave that on top versus the tan side. The green side is the flat side and will help make the rolls come out a little cleaner. Okay, now grab a sheet of nori and lay it down horizontally with the rough side facing up. Then wet both hands, thoroughly but not too much where it's dripping. Now grab a ball of rice, about the size of an apple. And then we're going to spread this evenly across our nori, all the way to the corners and edges. Now I like to grind some toasted sesame seeds on here with this cool automatic grinder. All I do is just push this button and watch. Pretty cool, huh? Now, of course, this is optional. Now we're going to flip this over so that the nori is on top. And when you do this, leave about an inch of space from the bottom of the makisu to the bottom of the nori. This will make it easier to roll. Okay, now we're going to add in our fillings, and the first thing I want to do is sprinkle on some of the spicy powder, all the way down the middle. And then the tuna right on top of that, and then some cucumber. Now from here, we're going to bring this bottom part of the nori to the top of the ingredients. And we do this by holding the makisu with both thumbs while our forefingers hold the ingredients in place. And we bring this up and over to wrap the seaweed around the fillings. And then at this point, the ingredients inside should be fully wrapped, but this top part of the nori is still visible. From here, you want to pull this top part of the makisu away from you while the other hand holds the roll. This will help tighten the roll so that the ingredients don't fall out. Now grab this bottom end of the makisu and pull it away from you while the roll overlaps onto itself. And then give it some even pressure from all sides. And there you go. Now, I like to clean the ends here a bit by aligning this edge of the makisu to the end of the roll. To the end of the road. Sorry, had to add that in there. But anyways, now we push in on the rice. Do it for both sides. And that's it. Now let's just leave this off to the side and we'll get into making our second roll. Now the steps of this are pretty much identical to our first roll, so I'm not going to guide you each step of the way. Alright? It's okay, you got this. Now for our fillings, we don't need to add the spicy powder since that's already in our mix. So we're just going to spoon this on here. And then the cucumber. And then same exact concept again. And there you go. Now it's time to cut these. Now, uramaki rolls are typically cut into 8 pieces, and I find the easiest way to do this is to cut it right down the center in half first, and then each side into halves again, and then each quarter into halves again. And make sure your knife is clean, and it also helps to wet it right before you cut. Okay, watch. Alright, now let's start plating. And there you have it. 2 ways to make a spicy tuna roll. And this is a very basic and fundamental recipe, and you're more than welcome to add things or swap things out to your liking. I sometimes like to add avocado, jalapeno, masago, or tobiko can be a really good addition as well. Play around with it and see what you like. Alright, good job crew. And now that you know one way to make inside out rolls, go to this video right over here to learn 2 other methods and see which technique is best for you. As always, feel free to leave any questions, comments, or just a casual hi in the comments below. Also, if you're enjoying my content, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. It really does help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Arigatou gozaimasu.